When it comes to succeeding in today's competitive industries, there's about 1,000 number of things that you can do to succeed in the game. But among the thousands of strategies that you could do, there are two specific plans of actions that are leading in the pact: branding and marketing. Hey guys, welcome to Creative, where we help athletes, sports marketers, and athletic business owners learn how to build lasting legacies beyond the game. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we talk about those solutions that can truly change the business of sports. Today, we'll be discussing the difference between branding and marketing. We'd love for you to tackle that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. In order to build a successful empire in the competitive sporting industry, you need to have a great understanding of what modern branding and marketing is. Branding and marketing can be pretty confusing, especially when you're entirely new to the game. But knowing both strategies well could mean the difference between winning and losing. So, what really comes first? To answer the age-old question of which comes first, your branding efforts or your marketing, we need to first explore the definition of both terms. Branding is defined as the practice of creating a name, symbol, design that identifies and differentiates your product or service from your competitors. It makes use of both tangible and intangible elements that define who your company is and what they do. On the other hand, marketing is explained as the process of promoting a product or service through different activities like SEO, content marketing, paid advertisement, etc. In a nutshell, branding is the process of shaping a recognizable yet unique identity, while marketing is the strategy you implement to connect with your fan base and actively promote your company. Now that we have established the basic meanings of both branding and marketing, we can now answer which comes first. Unknowingly too many. I want you to think about this. Branding is defined as the process of shaping an identity of a company. So, in order to figure out how you can market, don't you first need to connect to your fan base? You first need to establish who your brand is. During a brand building process, the core foundations of your brand and its identity is established, its foundation. Intangible elements like your company's vision, the message it wants to be shared with its fan base, the kind of values that you can offer, as well as the manner of which you speak to your fan base are some of the crucial things that your marketing campaigns demand. Think of it this way. Building a marketing campaign without having that concrete foundation is like shooting arrows blindfolded. You might hit a few things, but it definitely won't be your target. Well, companies build marketing campaigns without having a single idea on how their brand is meant to connect and promote its products end up failing in the long run. Without any solid messaging or identity, your sports fans are left to figure out things themselves, and oftentimes they end up confused. They're unsure whether the brand is really for them, and nor do they have an idea if the brand is really talking to them. If you want to secure a successful marketing campaign per se, it's crucial that you first focus on building that concrete identity. And once you finalize your brand, that's the time that you can focus on developing your marketing strategies. So let's talk about a journey to succeeding in the sporting industry. Now that we know branding came first, how does the relationship of marketing and branding work? Like we mentioned earlier, branding is meant to be the identity of your company. It dictates how you speak to your fan base, what kind of message you share, and how you're supposed to promote yourself. These are the same questions that your marketing campaigns will be asked and the statistics will show. Regardless of whether you're implementing an SEO campaign or a social media one, they'll ask you what message your brand wants to share with its audience and how they plan to do so. For marketing effort to be efficient, these questions should have been answered in the first place. Without these answers, it's difficult to develop and implement an efficient campaign. See, your marketing team will base your efforts on the identity you've built for your brand. The way you communicate with your fan base, the messages you send, and even the kinds of platforms you'll be using. Basically, every single important matter on your future marketing campaigns will depend on your brand's identity that you have developed. Because without a clear identity, your marketing campaigns will be aiming for the unknown. It won't have a clear goal to accomplish, which means it won't have a clear set of strategies to use. And when marketing campaigns are implemented without these foundations, they often fail and end up confusing people. Things become vastly different when brands prioritize building strong foundations over their marketing efforts. They have clear goals, which means clear strategies. And when a marketing campaign is built on solid ground, the more efficient it becomes. This means that for everyone who wants to do well in today's competitive sporting industry, needs to follow the formula of branding first before marketing. So since branding is very intangible, why is it important for you to invest in great branding strategies? There's no denying that building a brand takes a lot of time and requires businesses to use a ton of its resources, which makes it seem like such a large gamble for smaller companies. People are afraid of putting their hard-earned resources into branding. They would rather stick with efforts that give them immediate results. But in reality, the ROI that you can get from your marketing campaigns won't last without branding efforts. You need solid foundations to make these results actually tangible. That's why marketing experts advise anyone who wants to build a successful brand to invest in great branding strategies first and foremost. A lot of successful brands took their time in building what they have today. For them, the process, of course, never ends, though they are continually shaping their brand as they go forward. And more importantly, they started on the right foot by investing in the brand discovery process. Like we've mentioned in previous videos, brand discovery is really the first step towards building a brand. It answers all the essential questions that make up a brand. What values do they believe in? Who are their customers? What values they can offer to their customers, even down to what kind of messaging that relates to their customers. Basically, all of the elements that make up your brand are established during this stage. And depending on your needs, some companies even use tools like branding questionnaires or other things to help with the foundation of building these brands. These questionnaires help companies figure out the identity that they could embody as a brand. See, too many companies focus on the great result of having a brand without actually figuring out what they want to achieve and how they plan to achieve it, when in reality, it's these small details that truly make a brand successful. When the finer details of a brand are established, the more trustworthy they become to the eyes of their audience. And in today's world, there's nothing more important than building relationships with your fan base. Unfortunately, it's difficult to connect with people when you barely know yourself. That's why a lot of experts emphasize the importance of knowing who you are and what you want when building your brand. Thankfully, there's always branding discovery ready to help companies figure out their way through the process. This stage of the process will help you figure out the essential elements of your brand, allowing you to build a lasting foundation. Branding and marketing are two different things, But when both are used at the same time, it can lead to the kind of success that everyone wants. If you want to learn more about branding and marketing relationships with one another, why don't you check out the rest of our videos on the channel? We'd love for you to tackle that subscribe button and that notification bell. It really helps out the channel. Now, this is Zach with Creative, where business is our sport.